I am so sore. I've been keeping myself sane recently by taking late night bicycle rides, going out on a fixie at my advanced age. Yeah, definitely takes its toll. But that also makes me think of some tattoo related stuff. In that the longer I tattoo, the more I gravitate towards. God, I can't talk today either. The more I gravitate towards traditional tattooing. I keep seeing these darn kids. I keep seeing tattooers, younger tattooers that haven't been working very long, putting out flash sheets of shit that I I know for a fact will not age well. It's going to look like trash, trash in super short order. I mean, we're talking like within a matter of years, everything's going to bleed together, and it's just going to look like a fucking smudge. There's no way around it. You can't stop human biology. The little immune cells, macrophages, they're what makes tattoos stick in your skin. And you can't outsmart them. Like when you when you inject ink into your skin in the correct layer of skin, the little macrophages, they come up, they grab onto that pigment, and they sort of like encapsulate it as if it's like a foreign invader in the body, which it is. And eventually that cell will die. That little bit of pigment will kind of float off down the way, and another one of those macrophages will come along and latch onto that guy. And that's just how your body holds tattoos. Like, that's how skin works. Like, the actual types of cells and the medical terminology and all that stuff. I mean, the widespread knowledge of that in the tattoo community, I feel like is relatively new within a handful of decades. But historically, we didn't need to know why it worked to know that it worked. I mean, we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of tattooers over generations making those mistakes and seeing how tattoos are going to heal and age over decades and decades and decades and decades um, to know what's going to work and what's not. And the general rules surrounding tattoos, what makes a tattoo work, that you're going to learn during an apprenticeship, which also a lot of the people putting out those designs definitely didn't get trained in an apprenticeship. And it shows through shit like that because the tattooers that came before you made those mistakes for you so that you don't have to. You don't have to take unnecessary risks with just the general client's skin because we already know what works and what doesn't. Does that mean you have to get like an old school traditional eagle or whatever? No. You can apply those rules to other styles, but you have to know them to be able to know how you can apply them. We understand that for most people, like the vast majority, you can't have too too much detail too small. Are there going to be outliers at some point? Of course. Some people's immune systems are going to work slightly differently. Some people, some people's immune systems are going to work in one way or another, more or less. But there is a general range that most people fall into, and that's what you can assume to be the safe zone, so that you're not taking unnecessary risks with people's skin, because people have to wear the things that we put on them forever, and we should be thinking ethically about how to give them what is going to make them the happiest possible for the longest time possible. But the longer I tattoo, the more I see, I mean, my pieces coming back in that I did 5, 10, 15, almost 20 years ago now. I want to say this year is going to be 18 years of tattooing for me. Um, and it was just the 2 year anniversary of the shop here of Flying Eye, like 2 days ago. The reason that traditional style tattoos, um, I mean, basically anywhere in the world, we're not even just talking about Western traditional stuff. Um, like indigenous tattooing has the same sort of design structure, the same sort of rules, because independent of Western tattooers, like tattooers in the rest of the world have a lineage who have seen these tattoos age over and over and over and over again to know what works and what doesn't. So the longer that I tattoo, It seems like the more I gravitate towards making things bolder and larger, and I don't want to say simpler, but trying to distill things down to their most necessary elements, specifically so that I know they're going to age well, that the things that I put on people are going to look maybe not the same as when they first got them, because again, we can't outsmart human biology, but as good 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years down the line, because it's not about me. Like, I realize at this point in my career that it's cool to be able to get to do like artistically fulfilling pieces, but my job is helping people. If what you're getting from me is the type of pieces that I like to do, that's cool. But I also at this point have zero issues doing like Samantha's baby daddy's name, or like that rose tattoo that reminds you of your grandma that passed away a couple years ago, or like the little infinity sign that you saw on Pinterest and it just makes you happy. Like, I am nobody to say that you don't need that tattoo. And in the case of infinity signs specifically, it might be my 10,000th time tattooing that, but it's still your first getting it. And I feel like a lot of tattoo artists, especially who don't have a lot of time under their belt, fall into that same sort of trap with answering questions. And I got there at one point in my career as well. Like, people tend to ask the same sorts of questions over and over and over and over. And it's really easy to fall into the trap of just being kind of short or snarky, or some tattooers get really shitty about it. Um, but it is my 10,000th time answering that exact same question, but it's only your first time of asking it, only your first time of getting an answer to it. And really, that's part of the job. Like, at the end of the day, if I have some sort of issue with that, I just have an issue with being a professional tattoo artist. Because I mean, like, you can sort of streamline some things as far as like contact with clients goes, but I mean, some part of it is just gonna be that you're gonna have the same questions, you're gonna have to give the same answers, you're gonna have to repeat your aftercare instructions over and over and over and over again, you're gonna have to do the same consultations over and over and over again. And this has actually come up in conversations here quite a few times in the past month or so. But it reminds me of the quote, "One must imagine Sisyphus happy." If you're familiar with the legend of Sisyphus, who has to push this giant boulder up a hill every single day, and at the end of the day, it just rolls right back down again, and he just has to push it up and it rolls back down, push it up, and rolls back down. It's just repetition and repetition and repetition. And I feel like at the end of the day, you have to just find a boulder that you're happy pushing. And if you want to be happy pushing a boulder that you're not currently happy with, find a way to be happy with it. But I do still have to clean up from my last tattoo that I just got finished with maybe 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. So, gonna go do that. And of course, you know the deal, blah, blah, blah. If you're looking to get tattooed and you're in Louisville, Kentucky, or you want to come to Louisville, Kentucky on Flying Eye Tattoo, feel free to get a hold of me. Like, contact stuff is wherever. Like, you know all this stuff. But yeah, until next time, stay rad, y'all.